Finally, no more external painting software with Blender because there are some powerful brush features with the latest versions of Blender. So let's say I want to paint over this plank floor, and this is the classic PBR texture setup. So we have our color texture, normal texture, roughness texture, and we just need to add another one for painting. So I'll press Shift A, add texture, image texture, create a new one, call this paint, set the resolution to 2K, and I'll leave it as a black texture and create a new image. And now we need to mix these together. So let's press Shift A, let's go color, mix color, and I'll just plug this in and plug our new texture. And now we can mix between those. So let's leave the factor at 1. But the planks were UV unwrapped, so to effectively paint over this, the best thing is to create a new UV map. So in the object data properties, I can just create a new one and call this paint as well. And now back in the shader, we can just drag this out, search for UV map, and pick our new UV map right here. So now we just need to unwrap this. So I'll press 7 on a numpad for a top view, tab into the edit mode, press A to select all, and I'll just go UV and project from view with bounce. And now this is how the UV texture looks like. And now switch to the texture paint. And as you can see, we are able to just paint over this. Of course, you can do this in the image editor as well. And since the UV map looks like this, it will just work in 3D as well. And basically with the recent versions of Blender, the texture painting mode got this asset browser shelf with all of these preset brushes right there. And it's easier than ever to create your own library of brushes, same as you do, for example, in Procreate or Photoshop. The only thing you need is a brush texture, and there are tons of those out there if you just search for brush alpha textures. So let's switch to our brush tool right here, and you can see this is the brush we have currently selected. But the best thing, since the brushes are now part of the asset library, you can just click here and duplicate the asset, and you can call it whatever you want. Let's say new brush, and you can choose what library you want to save this in, and you will have your default user library available there as well. So you can just click save, and now scroll down and find texture mask, and here you can just create a new texture and click to edit. That will switch you here to this section. And now just open whatever brush alpha you have available. For example, I have this shape now. You can just press F to adjust the size and draw with your new brush. But what's more interesting, there are some other powerful features you can adjust. If you go back to your brush settings, you can now choose to use random, and you will see how this will rotate your texture every time you do a stroke, and it will create this nice grunge effect. Also, if you scroll down, you can adjust some jittering, and this way create all kinds of funky brushes, but I will keep this at minimum here. And now the best thing is we will be able to save this brush for later, but before we do, let's just paint something. And I can just go in and in my stroke options, click stabilize stroke, and you can just start painting